Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about a movie that absolutely blew the doors off of cinema, Quentin Tarantino's 1994 masterpiece, Pulp Fiction. I mean, it's been 30 years, 30, but it still feels just as cool and fresh as the day it came out. So what's the secret sauce here? Ever wonder what makes a movie not just good, but a true classic? Well, stick around and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel to find out. So yeah, that's the big question we're tackling today. How does a movie from way back in 1994 still feel so iconic, so important? Let's dive in together and break down the legend of Pulp Fiction. All right, so first things first. Before we can get into why this movie is such a big deal, we gotta understand what it's even about. And trust me, that's not as straightforward as you might think. You know, the movie kind of gives you a cheat sheet right at the very beginning. It opens with this title card, literally a dictionary definition of the word pulp. It's basically telling you, hey, get ready. You're about to watch something that's going to be a little messy, a little rough around the edges, and absolutely packed with wild, over-the-top stories. Okay, so at its heart, the movie is really just weaving together a few different stories, all set in the criminal underworld of LA. You've got two hitmen, a boxer who's supposed to throw a big fight, a gangster's wife on a very strange night out, and a couple of amateur robbers who decide to hold up a diner. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, right. This is where things get really interesting. The thing that made this movie so famous, and honestly a little confusing for people at first, is how the story is told. It doesn't just go from point A to point B. Oh no, it's all jumbled up, completely out of order. So this is the order you actually see in the movie. It's broken down into these 7 different chapters, and you can see it right away. It jumps all over the place. We start in a diner, then bam, we're with the hitman, then suddenly we're with the boxer. It's all designed to keep you guessing, to keep you on your toes. But now, check this out. If you were to take all those pieces and put them back in the correct chronological order, it would look like this. Just look at how scrambled the movie's timeline really is. This whole technique is called a non-linear narrative. And back in '94, it was a total game changer. It forces you, the viewer, to become a detective, piecing the whole puzzle together yourself. And honestly, that's a huge part of what makes it so much fun to watch. Okay, but it's not just the mixed-up timeline that makes this movie so special. It's all about the how, the signature style, the vibe. And that all comes from one guy, the writer and director, Quentin Tarantino. I mean, this quote says it all, doesn't it? You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris? They call it a royal with cheese. You've got these 2 deadly hitmen on their way to do something, well, not very nice, and they're just casually talking about fast food in Europe. It's hilarious. It's full of pop culture, and it makes these larger-than-life characters feel weirdly real. So yeah, that's the secret sauce of Tarantino's style. It's this one-of-a-kind mix. You've got that super casual, pop culture-obsessed dialogue. You have this bizarre, ironic blend of laugh-out-loud funny moments right next to some pretty shocking violence. And then there are all these little nods and homages to old movies that film nerds just go crazy for. Throw in an incredible soundtrack of surf rock and soul music and a focus on tiny little details, and you've got the whole package. Of course, you can have the best story and the coolest style in the world, but you need the right actors to make it work. And man, the casting for Pulp Fiction, it was like a perfect storm of amazing talent all coming together at exactly the right moment. I mean, look at this. This movie didn't just feature stars, it created them. It took John Travolta's career, which had kind of stalled, and shot it right back into the stratosphere. It turned Samuel L. Jackson and Uma Thurman into absolute icons, household names. And it even took a huge star like Bruce Willis, who took a pay cut for the role, and gave him this whole new level of respect as a serious actor. And get this, here's a little what if for you. The movie could have been completely different. The studio had its own ideas for who should be in these roles. Can you even imagine anyone but Samuel L. Jackson as Jules? Or someone other than Uma Thurman as Mia Wallace? Nope, me neither. Tarantino really had to fight for his cast, and thank goodness he did. It's pretty clear he made the right call. But the impact of Pulp Fiction goes way, way beyond just the story or the cool style. This movie was like a cultural earthquake. It completely shook up the entire film industry, especially the world of independent movies. So get this. Would you believe this movie was made for only $8.5 million? I mean, that's a tiny budget, even for back in 1994. It was actually the very first movie that the indie studio Miramax financed all by themselves. They were taking a massive gamble. And that gamble, oh, it paid off big time. The film went on to make over $213 million worldwide. The return on their investment was it was astronomical, absolutely massive. This chart really drives the point home, doesn't it? Look at that tiny little bar for the budget compared to that monster of a bar for the box office. It's just staggering. And this success story made every big studio in Hollywood wake up and pay attention. They suddenly realized, whoa, these little independent films can make some serious money. So the film's legacy is just huge. It won the Palme d'Or, which is the top prize at the super prestigious Cannes Film Festival, and that created a ton of buzz. Its incredible success proved that indie films could be giant commercial hits, and it completely changed the game for independent filmmakers. For the rest of the 90s, everybody was trying to make their own Pulp Fiction clone, and years later, it was officially named to the National Film Registry, basically cementing its place as a culturally significant work of art that needs to be preserved forever. So yeah, when you really break it all down, the scrambled-up story, the effortlessly cool dialogue, that perfect cast, and its massive impact on the industry, it's pretty easy to see why Pulp Fiction is still such a big deal. Its fingerprints are all over movies and TV shows we watch today. And that actually brings me to my final question for all of you. What modern movie or show do you watch that totally reminds you of Pulp Fiction? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Go ahead and drop your answers in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching this explainer on my channel, and if you had fun, please hit that like button and subscribe for more.